Stop. Before you scroll past this, before you dismiss what I'm about to tell you, I need you to listen carefully, because what you're about to hear might be the most important thing anyone has ever said to you. You've been hurt before, deeply, by someone you trusted, by someone who smiled at you while plotting against you, by someone who used your kindness, your loyalty, your love as a weapon against you. And the worst part, you didn't even see it coming. That's not a coincidence. That's not bad luck. That's by design. The world you live in is not fair. It was never meant to be fair. There are people walking around you right now, at work, in your family, in your social circles, who have quietly mastered the art of manipulation, control, and psychological domination. And they learned it early, while you were busy being good, at being trusting, being kind. They were learning the rules of the real game, the dark game, the game no one teaches you in school. And here you are, burned, manipulated, controlled, perhaps even broken. But what if I told you that the very pain you've experienced, the betrayal, the humiliation, the feeling of being played, was your invitation to wake up, to harden, to evolve. 5 centuries ago, a man sat in a cold stone room, stripped of power, stripped of everything, and he wrote the most dangerous book ever put to paper. A book so ruthless, so unapologetically honest about human nature, that kings feared it, priests banned it, and power players secretly kept it under their pillows. His name was Niccolo Machiavelli. And today, we are unlocking his secrets, not to make you evil, but to make you unbreakable. If you're tired of being the one who always gets hurt, if you're tired of being manipulated by people who are supposed to love you, if you are done being the prey in a world full of predators, then this is for you. Watch until the end. Every second of this will rebuild you, and if this content speaks to you, if you feel something shifting inside you right now, hit that like button and subscribe, because this channel is not for the weak. This channel is for people who are done being weak. Let's begin. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to be cruel. He wrote it because he was honest, brutally, dangerously honest, in a world that rewarded lies. He watched leaders fall. He watched good men get destroyed by ruthless ones. That he watched loyalty get punished and cunning get rewarded. And rather than cry about it, rather than pretend the world was different than it was, he did something revolutionary. He wrote it all down. Machiavelli believed that human nature is consistent across centuries, across cultures, across time. People are self-serving. People are afraid. People respect power and exploit weakness. He didn't say this to be dark. He said this so that you could prepare. His philosophy was simple. The world is a battlefield. Dress accordingly. He said that a wise man must behave as both a lion and a fox. The lion to crush opposition, the fox to recognize traps. Power is not given, it is taken. And if you refuse to take it, someone else will take it from you. This is not cruelty, this is clarity. And today we're applying that clarity to your life. 1. That your emotions are the cage they put you in. You were taught to feel everything openly, to wear your heart on your sleeve, to express your pain, your joy, your fear, openly, visibly, immediately. And while you were doing that, the predators in your life were studying you. Every emotional reaction you showed them was a map of your weaknesses, a map of exactly where to press to make you collapse. Weak people fail here because they confuse emotional openness with emotional strength. They are not the same. One makes you human, the other makes you readable. Machiavelli would tell you this: never let your enemy see what moves you. The moment someone knows what you love, what you fear, what you cannot live without, they own you. Not with chains, with information. This looks like the coworker who notices you panic when your boss is upset and starts whispering in your boss's ear. It looks like the partner who learns you're terrified of abandonment and uses that terror every single argument. It looks like the friend who knows you need validation and gives it or withholds it based on what they need from you. Stop performing your emotions for an audience. Feel everything. Show nothing until you decide it's safe to show it. Emotional discretion is not suppression. It is strategy. You're not a book. Stop letting everyone read you. Type this affirmation in the comment section to register it in your mind. I control what I reveal. My emotions are mine. 2. Kindness without power is just weakness with a smile. Here is what no one tells you about being a good person. Kindness that is not backed by strength will always be mistaken for submission. You've been kind your entire life. You've given without being asked. You've forgiven without an apology. You've shown up for people who never showed up for you. And deep down, you believe that kindness will eventually be returned. It won't. Not in a world that confuses generosity with desperation. Weak people fail here because they use kindness as a currency, hoping that if they give enough, they will finally be treated with respect. But respect doesn't work that way. Respect is not bought with kindness. Respect is commanded by presence. Machiavelli said something that will rearrange your mind. It is better to be feared than loved. See if you cannot be both. This is not a call to become heartless. This is a call to become formidable. Love that is not paired with respect is fragile. People walk away from love. People do not walk away from power. Think of the person in your life everyone treats like a doormat. They're helpful, sweet, always available, and yet they're the last person anyone calls when they need something serious done. They're overlooked for promotions. They're ignored in group decisions. Their kindness signals I can be taken advantage of. Keep your kindness, but wrap it in iron. Let people know, through your stillness, your boundaries, your refusal to beg, that your kindness is a choice, not a default, that it can be withdrawn, that you are not available to everyone at all times. Kindness is a gift. Stop handing it out like it's worthless. Type this affirmation in the comments section now to register it in your soul. I am kind because I choose to be, not because I'm afraid of what happens if I'm not. 3. People don't betray you. They reveal themselves. This one will sting, but you need to hear it. Every person who ever betrayed you showed you exactly who they were. Long before the betrayal, the signs were there. The small lies, the subtle selfishness, the moments where their mask slipped. You saw it. You chose not to believe it, because you were projecting who you wanted them to be onto who they actually were. Weak people fail here because they judge people by their intentions, not their patterns. They hear "I'm sorry" and reset the clock. They see a moment of vulnerability and decide the monster has finally changed. It hasn't changed. It's just hungry again. Machiavelli was ruthless about this. Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessity that the one who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. Translation: People will deceive you for as long as you make it easy. Your hope is their weapon. This is the person who apologizes beautifully every single time they hurt you. The apology is real. The behavior never changes. That is not a person who made a mistake. That is a person who has mastered the cycle of abuse and reset. Stop judging people by what they say to you in their best moments. Judge them by what they do in their worst ones. Patterns don't lie. People do. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Type this affirmation in the comment section now to register it in your heart. I see people clearly. I am not deceived by words. 4. Silence is the most powerful response you own. In a world of noise, nothing is more unsettling than someone who refuses to react. You've been conditioned to respond, to defend yourself, to explain, to justify, to chase, to prove. When someone attacks you, you feel the pull to fight back immediately, to correct them, to show them they're wrong, to make them see you clearly. And every time you do that, you lose. Weak people fail here because they confuse reaction with strength. But reaction is not strength. Reaction is surrender. The moment you react emotionally, you hand the other person the controls. You become their puppet, dancing on the strings of their provocation. Machiavelli understood that stillness is a form of dominance. The lion does not explain itself to the sheep. The king does not respond to every insult from a peasant. Silence is not passivity. Silence is violence to someone who expected you to crumble. Someone spreads lies about you at work. Your instinct is to defend yourself immediately, to confront them, to send emails, to prove your innocence. But every defense puts you on trial. Every explanation puts you beneath their accusation. Instead, go silent. Let your results speak. Let your calm destroy their narrative. Practice the pause. Before you react, before you respond, before you explain, stop. Breathe. Calculate. Your silence will confuse your enemies more than any argument you could make. Not everyone who throws a stone at you deserves a response. Some of them just deserve your silence and your success. Type this affirmation in the comment section immediately. My silence is my power. I do not react. I respond deliberately. 5. They made you feel small so they could stay comfortable. Here is one of the darkest truths in psychology. The people who diminish you most are almost never doing it from strength. They are doing it from fear. Fear of what you could become. Fear that your growth will expose their stagnation. Fear that if you rise, their mediocrities will have nowhere to hide. Weak people fail here because they internalize the criticism of small people. They let someone else's insecurity become their identity. They hear, "You'll never amount to anything," and start whispering it to themselves at 3 a.m. Machiavelli knew that those who attack the rising man are rarely his equals. They are those he is leaving behind. He wrote that the reformer makes enemies of all those who prospered under the old order. Translation: your growth will terrify everyone who benefited from your smallness. This is the parent who subtly undermines your ambitions, the friend who makes you feel foolish for dreaming big, the partner who mocks your goals. These are not people who hate you. These are people who are terrified that you will discover your own power and leave them in the darkness you used to share. The moment someone ridicules your vision, understand what that ridicule really is. It is a confession that they have abandoned their own dreams and cannot bear to watch you pursue yours. Small minds discuss people. Great minds discuss ideas. and untouchable minds pursue visions without asking permission. Type this affirmation in the comment section to register it in your mind. I do not shrink for the comfort of others. 6. Loyalty is earned in layers. Not given in one moment, you have given people your full trust too quickly. You've opened your entire world to someone based on a few good conversations, a few moments of connection, a feeling of being understood. And when they used that trust against you, you called it betrayal. But was it? Or was it simply the cost of giving everything before someone earned anything? Weak people fail here because they are starving for genuine connection. And that starvation makes them reckless. They overshare, they overcommit, they overtrust. Because the feeling of being seen is so rare and so intoxicating that they throw the door open before they've seen the hands reaching in. Machiavelli was cold about trust. He believed that alliances must be built on shared interest, not sentiment. When the interest disappears, so does the alliance. This is not cynicism. This is architecture. Build your relationships like you build a fortress. Layer by layer, test by test, time by time. Reveal yourself in layers. Give someone a small piece of your truth. Watch what they do with it. Do they honor it? Do they use it against you? Do they share it with others? Their response to a small trust tells you everything about whether they deserve a larger one. The depth of your trust must match the length of their track record. Nothing more, nothing less. You are a vault. Not everyone who knocks deserves to come inside. Type this affirmation in the comments section to register it in your mind. I trust slowly and observe carefully. 7. The most dangerous person in the room never needs to prove it. You've met them. The person who walks in and the energy shifts. And they don't shout. They don't perform. They don't compete for attention. They just arrive. And somehow everyone feels it. That is presence. And presence is the ultimate psychological power. Weak people fail here because they confuse volume with authority. They think the loudest voice wins. They interrupt. They over-explain. They over-justify. They campaign for respect with desperate energy. And the more desperate they are, the less respect they command. Machiavelli admired the ruler who needed no army at his back to command the room, because his presence alone communicated that he was the army. True power doesn't announce itself. It simply is. This is the executive who says very little in a meeting, but when they speak, everyone leans in. Then it's the person who doesn't respond to every message immediately, because their time clearly has weight. It's the individual who smiles calmly when provoked, while the provocateur becomes visibly unraveled. Slow down. Speak less. Move with intention. Stop filling silence with noise. Stop explaining yourself to people who have already decided who you are. The less you perform, the more powerful you appear. The fire that burns most dangerously is not the one that roars. It is the one that glows quietly and endlessly in the dark. Type this affirmation in the comments section to have it stamped in your mind. I do not need to prove my power. I embody it. You came into this video as one person. I want you to leave as another. Not harder, not colder, not cruel, but awake. Awake to the reality that the world has been teaching you the wrong rules. That you were conditioned to be palatable, manageable, easily controlled. That your sensitivity was weaponized. That your trust was exploited. That your kindness was mistaken for weakness. But here is what Machiavelli knew. What every great strategist, every powerful mind, every unbreakable soul has always known. The most dangerous human being alive is the one who has been broken and chose to rebuild themselves with iron. That is you, now. You are not the person who gets manipulated anymore. You are the person who sees manipulation coming from miles away and chooses how to respond. You are not the person who gives everything to people who give nothing. You are the person who values themselves enough to require something in return. You are not the person who shrinks. You are the person who expands, quietly, powerfully, and relentlessly, until the space around you transforms. This is not arrogance. This is reclamation. You are reclaiming the power that was always yours, the power they spent years convincing you that you didn't have. Machiavelli didn't write for the powerful. He wrote for the potentially powerful. He wrote for people exactly like you, people who had been burned enough times to finally want to understand the fire. Now you understand it. Now you can use it. Go out there and be unbreakable. Not because you're cold, not because you're closed, but because you finally know who you are, and you will never let anyone take that from you again. If this video moved something in you, if you felt something shift, like it, share it, subscribe, because more truths are coming, and they are not for the faint-hearted, they are for you. Type this affirmation in the comments section to register it in your mind. No one controls me. No one breaks me. Now look at the screen and watch something captivating to build your mind further. Equip your mind with knowledge from this channel.